What's up, and welcome back to Opposites Attract Podcast. This is Sonja Ramirez, your girl, and I'm sitting next to
Miguel Ramirez.
What's up, everybody? How is your day?
How is your week?
How is your life?
Going.
There it is.
I should have downloaded a yawning sound effect.
Hey, shush.
Might need it today.
And now.
Make sure you guys go to oppositesattractpodcast.com. Share it with the people that you know. When you guys go there, you'll see how you can follow the podcast. You can see all of our social media. You can follow us everywhere at Opposite Pod. Wherever you're listening to this, if you leave us a review, a thumbs up, a like, a comment, all that stuff, share it with your friends.
All that good stuff.
It really helps us out, and we
Yes,
definitely
yes.
appreciate it. And we're going to try and make 2023... I mean, it is. It's
We're
going to
not
be
gonna
the biggest.
try.
It's going to
We're
be the
gonna
biggest,
do.
bestest year ever.
We're going to do.
Because
that's what we're going to do.
Because that's what
we do.
Right.
That's right. Come on.
Yeah.
There you go.
Sorry, left you hanging. What's happening, babe?
So this morning I'm getting ready to go to the gym. So I've been waking up about 5:20, between 5:20 and 5:30.
Yeah.
And so I'm downstairs getting my boxing gloves and everything ready. Thank you, babe, for my boxing gloves.
Yeah.
Dude, they're pretty solid.
You like them?
Dude, I feel like
They look good, too.
I feel powerful in those
Dude,
gloves.
You know what? I'll tell you something. The other day, we were outside. I don't know if it was with the other one. You know what? I want to get you a pair of 10, like fighting gloves. I want to see how it feels. Because you were hitting with the fucking big gloves. Or maybe it was a 14 ounces that we sent back. But, dude, you were fucking hitting hard.
Yeah.
Like, I was like, God damn. This is fucking hard. Like, you hit somebody, you're going to fucking knock them out.
So the guy that runs the class, he was coming around and we were hitting mitts. And so after hitting mitts, he's like, you're definitely you are definitely left-handed, because when I first started boxing, I was boxing right-handed just because everybody in the class was right-handed. The instructor was right-handed. So I'm like, I'm going to start right-handed. And I did well. And then once I got it down, I decided to switch it over to southpaw, right? Mm-hmm. And I got that. And I got that down. And I've just been doing very well. I'm remembering the combinations and everything. So he's like, you are solid. And then he's like, and then I always had an issue. I thought I had an issue with my memory. And he's like, dang, you're pretty good. You memorize these combinations and you're hitting pretty solid. He's like, you're kicking ass.
That's awesome.
And I'm like, thanks. So anyways, while I'm getting ready and getting my boxing gloves and all that good stuff, Miguel comes down the stairs and walks into the kitchen. And I look at him like, ooh, yummy.
Oh, you talking about when you got home?
No, I'm talking about, was it when I got home?
Yeah, because you were gone when I got up.
Oh, that's right. That's right. So Miguel walks around the corner and I see him and I'm like, damn, look at my hot husband.
Thanks, babe.
So he's giving me a kiss.
If
bye.
you guys want to see, you got to watch the podcast.
Yeah, so
I'm not in a fucking G-string or anything.
He's
For
just
those
in
of you
a
that
red
are only
polo.
listening.
You look great in red, but you're dressed up. And normally you're working from home and wearing sweats and haven't showered for a week. No, I'm just kidding.
I only go like 3 or 4 days.
But he walks in and I'm like, ooh, I'm going to get that. So I give him a hug and I'm like, ooh. I said, you just wait till you get home. And I give him a hug. And then while he's walking away, he gives me a look. And Adriana's like, I saw that. I'm like, what did you see? You didn't see nothing. But it's like, it's that look. I mean, women, I don't know if you've ever experienced that, but your husband comes down and he's looking good and he's smelling good and something in your body just starts to boil. And it's like, ooh, I want some of that. I mean, I just got that last night and ooh, yeah. So I'm going to get it again today.
Ready for more. Nice.
No, but it's, you look nice, babe.
Thanks,
All
babe.
that to
Thank
say, you look nice.
So do you, babe.
I
love you, babe.
Let's get it on.
Yeah. So it's been, for me, it's been a fucked up week. Like, it's been good. It's been good, but it's been fucked up. And it's been a week of
challenging.
Growth.
Yes. Oh, yes. Go ahead.
And, like I was kind of, I don't know if I was thinking about this last night or yesterday at some point, but I kind of was. I was like, you know what? So what happened was right during the holiday break, my car, Well, it's been acting up.
Mm-hmm.
And it turned out that my alternator went out, right? So at first I thought it was a battery, so I replaced that. And you guys know I'm a mechanic, so I like some of the stuff, like I'll just do myself. He's an engineer
mechanic.
Yeah. I'll just fix it myself. And then once it gets to a certain point, like I'm not fucking with it. Just send it to somebody, let them fix it. But something like an alternator, which is a couple bolts and a couple wires, I'll do that. But when I ordered the new one, they sent me a bad one. And anyway, when I'm working on it, it's like, it's not working. And I don't know why, because that kind of threw me off. And I'm trying to troubleshoot shit. And at the same time, like this past week was supposed to be the first week that I'm like, it's kind of like the first week of the new year for me. Because the week before, you know, kind of easing into it. I'm still working from home. I'm not going into the office. And we're still kind of spending time together. But this week is like, all right, there's no days off. This is a regular ass week. First week of the year for me. Let's go. But it's kind of hard to just fucking let's go when you're down a car. Mm-hmm. And part of let's go is doing all the shit that, you know, we normally do. Mm-hmm. Is, you know, going shopping, going to jujitsu, going to the gym, doing all this shit. And it's hard to do it with one car. So I thought I was like, get the alternator, slap it in, and fucking let's get busy.
Right.
Well, not so fast. And then, so now the alternator that they sent me was bad. And now I'm trying to figure that shit out.
So he put the alternator in the car.
In the car, fucking driving it around. The car's fucking dying down the street. Sonja's got to jump me in the middle of the fucking street so I can drive it back to the fucking house. And it's still broke. I'm about to fucking put a bomb in it and just claim it on insurance or some shit.
You can't. But, you just let the world know that. Yeah, you can't. But
yeah. So, but this entire fucking week with this car has been a test of my fucking patience.
Yes, it has.
And I think I've done pretty good.
You've done very good. I even told you. Yeah. Like I'm like I am so proud of you because the before Miguel would have been upset. Like you would have felt his energy as soon as he walked in the house. Everybody walking on eggshells because he's flipping a lid and you don't want him to flip it on you. No,
right. You don't want me to direct that attention towards you.
Yes. But you were so
like I was still frustrated.
Yeah, you were.
I was still pissed off.
You handled it differently.
I'm just like, it is what it is.
It differently, yes.
I'll just fucking do it again. Do it. Oh my God. Anyway, but
and you know what was so good?
What's that?
Because Joey got to see that because he was working with you outside. And that's what is so important because as you know, Joey tends to flip a lid too, right?
Yeah.
And so for him to witness you and how you responded to the challenge was so good for him to see.
Yeah.
So good.
Yeah, and part of it is like when shit happens, you have to figure it out. You don't just fucking throw in the towel. You don't give up.
Right.
And flipping out, I mean, maybe it helps you feel better in the moment for a second, like you fucking release the frustration, but you got to get back to fucking work.
And you still want to release that energy, right?
Yeah,
it's just releasing it in the bedroom. I'll help you. Releasing it, working out.
Well, like yesterday. What did I tell you yesterday? Yesterday, I was supposed to get the alternator, put it in, and my car was going to be good, and let's go. I fucking put it in. Still doesn't work because I fucked up some wires that I got to fix and some shit. Now I got to figure that out. But anyway, but I told you, I was like, I don't know if you said like, you're going to stay home. And I'm like, no, I'm fucking going to jujitsu today. I don't give a fuck what happens. I am going.
Right.
You know, but yeah, you just got to release it in a more productive way.
Yes.
But
that takes time, like to learn, first of all, to recognize it. And see that how it's affecting those that are near you, right? Those that you're leading, like Joey.
Right.
You know, so it's first recognizing that, becoming aware of it, and then making the decision that you're going to make that change.
Yeah.
And sometimes you're going to slip, and that's okay.
Like that's I probably got throughout the week. There was probably a point where I got a little bit more frustrated than I should have.
You got a little more passionate.
But it didn't like last, and it was just like, all right, it's over.
Right.
But
But
yeah.
two, it's like I said, it's releasing it. You don't want to just bottle it up, right? Because that too will make you go bananas. If you just keep your feelings inside, don't express shit, and just like
And then
screaming
you just explode.
inside. Right.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, there was something that I saw online the other day that I wanted to read real quick. I don't know if
that's fine.
yeah. I don't know if you wanted to jump into something, but it was a post from Joe Rogan. It was a while back. I don't remember exactly when it was. But it has to do with like the times that we're living in. Like shit seems crazy out there. Yeah. You know, like with everything that's happening in the world and, you know, viruses and wars and the way people think about certain things and things that are happening in society.
There's
it's just
so
like
much
there's just
so much chaos.
And not all for, doesn't seem like it's all for the better. There's a lot of bad shit that
there's also
is not
a lot
good.
of good.
There is a lot of good, but yeah. So I just wanted to read this post because just to give like some perspective. But it said, for a small amount of perspective at this moment, imagine you were born in 1900. When you were 14, World War I starts and ends on your 18th birthday, with 22 million people killed. Later in the year, the Spanish flu epidemic hit the planet and run until you're 20. 50 million people die from it in those 2 years.
Wow.
Yes, 50 million. When you're 29, the Great Depression begins.
Wow.
Unemployment hits 25%. Global GDP drops 27%. That runs until you're 33. The country nearly collapses along with the world economy. When you turn 39, World War II starts. You aren't even over the hill yet. When you're 41, the United States is fully pulled into World War II. Between your 39 and 45th birthdays, 75 million people perish in the war, and the Holocaust kills 12 million. At 52, the Korean War starts, and 5 million people perish. At 64, the Vietnam War begins, and it doesn't end for many years. 4 million people die in that conflict. Approaching your 62nd birthday, you have the Cuban Missile Crisis, a tipping point in the Cold War. Life on our planet as we know it could have ended. Great leaders prevented that from happening. At your 75th, the Vietnam War finally ends. Think of everyone on the planet born in 1900.
Wow.
How do you survive all of that? A kid in 1985 didn't think their 85-year-old grandparent understood how hard school was. Yet those grandparents, and now great-grandparents, survived through everything listed above. Perspective is an amazing art. As 2022 ends, let's try and keep things in perspective. Let's be smart, help each other out, and we will get through all of this. In the history of the world, there has never been a storm that lasted. This too shall pass.
That just made me sad. I'm like, oh my God. I am so grateful to be living and experience the world where it's at.
Yeah.
You know, like I can't imagine going through all that and then having kids and trying to keep it together.
But we are. And that's the thing is that, like, that's a perfect example. Like when we look at the world and we think that, like, how the hell are we going to get out of this? Or like how everything looks so dark and bleak. It's like, we've done it before. We've gotten out of stuff before.
Right.
And it's kind of like the suffering thing. It's like wanting things to, like, you don't want to suffer, but that's the cause of your suffering, is not accepting it. Like that, it's just, it's coming. We just got to live with it and do our best through it.
Right. Yeah. It's giving in to the suffering, giving in to the pain, and living in a place of gratitude for life, you know, for every breath you take and every day you wake up.
Move you make?
Yes. And every morning you wake up just sitting in gratitude, because we all have something to be grateful for, no matter what kind of situation you're in.
Yeah. Yep.
You know, it's finding the rainbow in the storm.
Right.
I'm your rainbow. You're my storm.
Really?
I'm kidding.
Really? I'm the storm?
No, I can't. I don't even think I can say that anymore. You know, we're becoming two rainbows.
Get the fuck out. No. I ain't no damn rainbow.
I'm the unicorn, you're the rainbow. How about that? But you and I have been watching this show. It's called Ancient. What is it? Ancient. Oh. You got to look that up.
It's on Netflix.
So good, you guys.
It's with Graham Hancock.
It's a documentary.
Yeah, it's a series, like a documentary series. Yeah, babe.
A series. I forever had a challenge saying documentary.
Yeah. And you were like, that's it. I'm getting it down.
Yes. But it's so crazy because in this show, it talks about how we have been killing each other.
Yeah.
I mean, since
the beginning of time.
Since the beginning of time.
Yeah. And that kind of leads, what the hell? I'm trying to find the name of that. I don't know. Ancient. It's about ancient civilizations. If you look it up on Netflix, you'll be able to find it with Graham Hancock. It's super, super interesting.
Yes.
I mean, because it challenges everything that we know.
Our history, the history that how we've known it for many years.
Yeah. And there's something in there that maybe we can talk about, but it's kind of so here in the United States, like there's the history that was written, right? Mm-hmm. Or at least the history that was written the way we understood it.
Right.
But and what people were saying was that back when like the Ice Age and all that kind of stuff, the way people got here to North America and South America was through the Bering Strait up in Alaska and by Russia. That people crossed over from the Russia side through Alaska and then down south to Canada and the United States, what it was back then. And that's what was written in books and all that stuff. And now in this show, they start talking about how there's kind of evidence of other civilizations that were here that we didn't know about, which kind of extends the timeline of humans on Earth. Mm-hmm. And there was a place that this guy wanted to go and visit and kind of research and investigate and, you know, just learn more about. But the place that he was at, it's this place in Ohio. You guys look it up. It's crazy. You can just find it on Google Maps. Look up Serpent Mound in Ohio on Google Maps. And he wanted to visit this place. And when he contacted the people, they denied him access because the history has already been written. And they do not want to have somebody there that challenges their position on that history.
Man, that's just crazy. Because when you think about everything that we've been taught and how intelligent we are today, things are being revealed.
Yep. I always tell you, like, there's things that can't be explained yet. There's always a yet. And humans have this thing, people have this thing of always trying to explain things. And we do the best we can at explaining it, but we're not always right. And knowing that we're not always right should kind of make us think like we should be more open to fucking change. Open to being wrong.
Right.
Wrong.
Right.
You know? Yes. And there was something else that I was watching. I want to watch it with you. But it was I didn't get to finish it, but there was a video on YouTube and this guy was talking about how like it was something about how people will think something that is not true and they almost kind of believe that it's not true, but they continue or like they know that it's not true, but they continue believing it because they believe that the mass believes that it's true. It's weird. It's a weird thing, but yeah.
Yeah, that's some crazy stuff.
So yeah, just be open to change. I mean, that's one thing that it seems like humans are always trying to explain stuff. It's like, oh, why is it that way? And it's like, look it up, start researching, and then we do the best we can, but we're not, like I said, we're not always right. And now as technology progresses, as we get smarter, we actually start figuring stuff out.
Yes. Today I went on to, do you have anything else you want to share with me?
Not on that, yeah.
Okay. So today I went on Facebook and And I was looking at previous posts. I just had a thought while I was sharing this. Anyways, I was going through my Facebook and the memories. It's so, I appreciate Facebook and those memories. And one popped up where Audrey was throwing a fit. Like she was throwing a fit, and it was with the xylophone. It was with her xylophone.
Oh, that was a long time ago.
Yeah, she was maybe 2 and throwing a freaking fit because she couldn't fit this phone inside whatever she was trying to do. And in the video, I said, "Look at her, impatient like her daddy." I'm like, wow, how we change.
Yeah.
When you look back at the memories, it's so amazing to see where we struggled, because my Facebook page, you know, when they talk about social media and how, you know, some people they only put all the good stuff, right? That's what they focus on, the vacation, when they're having good times
normal, though.
in their relationship.
But you got to understand that that's what it is.
Right. But I was not that way. I would put my struggles on there, right? Up on Facebook. Maybe not all of them at that moment, but I would always talk about like where I was being challenged. What are you smiling at?
I was just thinking about the thing that we were just watching that has to do with that.
Yeah.
Like putting your struggles out there and being a man and not putting your struggles out there.
And we'll get into that. But I want to read this post that I put up. And this was back in 2013, I believe. But it says, looking back in my younger years, I was lost and didn't even know it. As a single woman with no kids, having what most people would refer to success, career, house, car, no debt, money to do what I want, I was prideful, egotistic, and I was unaware of who I really was or what I stood for. I was so scared to love and felt lonely, even though I had friends for days. I was caught up in the hype of beauty, success, and living up to others' opinions of me. That was a big one for me. I had broken free from all chains of society and all conditioning. This was back then.
Yeah.
I no longer hide in self-doubt. I have recognized that I am worthy of love, inner peace, and joy. I am capable beyond my imagination. I know who I am and what I stand for. Everything you need lies within you and God, as we are one of the same. You just need a little guidance from someone who did it. You know, and I had read that, and I realized that, and I've been working on myself for
a long
so long. And I think what really triggered it, I mean, it was in 2006 with Legal Shield when we started, where I started focusing on personal development, right? But it was more about self-discipline, but not.
Yeah, because it starts out like as a business thing.
Right.
But then eventually it turns into like a personal thing.
It does, but it's almost like the affirmations. What I noticed is affirmations don't work unless you truly believe and there's emotion attached to that belief.
And?
What?
And
what?
And you do something.
Yeah. And well, yes. But I remember them telling us, you know, to look in the mirror and say these affirmations. And I always felt like I was lying to myself.
Yeah.
Yeah. I never felt what I was saying to be true.
Well, that's kind of like I've told you before, like when I asked my dad when he used to fight, I asked him one time, I'm like, hey, before you ever fought for like the world championship, like, did you already see yourself as a world champion? And he was like, yeah, I saw that like way before I became a world champion.
Yeah.
But that's different.
Yeah.
That's not even like an affirmation.
No.
That's a conviction within you.
And a visualization.
Right.
Yeah.
That's different than just an affirmation.
Right. Because he believed it. He saw it within himself.
And then he trained like a champion.
There was an emotion attached, and then he put that into action.
Yeah.
And with vision boards, I noticed the difference because I was just invited by our neighbor, really good friend now, I love her, to go do a vision board with her and her team. And so it was so different this time with me doing the vision board, like ever. Yeah. Because when I was going through things, I don't know, I'm more connected with who I am.
Yeah.
Right. And so while I was creating this vision board, I could feel myself making these accomplishments, visualizing my coaching business,
right?
Visualizing becoming more enlightened, closer to God, closer to self, right? And our family. And when I was doing the board, I almost felt like I had to redo it because in order for everything else to work, my priorities have to be in the center, which my priorities are you guys, right? Yeah. It's you guys, and it's continue to learn about I guess self, like my higher self, becoming more enlightened, connecting to my inner God, because there's so much research and so much to know within.
Yeah.
And I'm getting very interested in studying other beliefs, and learning different ways. But when I was building this vision board, I can feel it. It's almost like it was alive.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's so different than the one I did before. I mean, the one before I'm looking at them right now. The one I did before, I was doing it, but I didn't have the belief in myself yet that I could do it.
Right.
But when I look back at it and I look to see what I had on there, becoming, that's what it is. Becoming, being more present with you, the kids, myself. All that is so on point. And that was my main focus. And the thing that on the new board is more things that I want to accomplish.
You know what? Now that you just said that, when I was setting up the podcast, setting up the lights and the camera and everything, you have your vision boards there. Mm-hmm. And at that moment, when I saw them, I didn't think of it as a vision board. I forgot that people call them vision boards. Like I was thinking dream board, because I've also we've heard them called dream boards.
Mm-hmm.
And as soon as I looked at it and I thought dream board, I was like, I don't like that.
I never referred to it as a dream board.
I was like, I don't like that. I was like, because a dream board is like
something that's not real.
It's like, right? Yeah, I'd like to get that someday, or maybe I could somehow someday be able to do that.
Right.
And it's like, no, this is my fucking goal board.
Yeah. Goal board, vision board. Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Like, this is the shit that I'm going to do.
I never called it a dream board.
But always a vision board. Have you heard it called a dream board?
Yeah, I've heard people refer to it.
I've never made one.
No? Oh, we got to do that then, because I want to make one with the
guns
kids.
On there. Jiu-jitsu belts and shit.
I'm going to have, because we were talking about getting the kids together so that we could do vision boards with the kids, right?
Yeah.
And so maybe we all should, Jeff. We'll get the hubby out and we can all do it together. And then
you guys are going to have to get some different magazines for me and the guys.
I have some guy ones with cars and stuff. So we're going to have to put our vision boards side by side so you guys can see the similarities and the differences between our vision boards, right?
Yep.
Yeah, that'd be cool. And to see the kids, like just to see, their vision boards and the things that they have in common and the differences that they have and all that good stuff. But they're fun. I loved it. I mean, I think I was there all day with her.
You were.
Helping her but it's cool. So fun. It's creative. It's like, this world is your playground. It's your catalog.
Yeah.
What is it that you want in life? But
that's cool.
And it's very personal. It's very personal because a lot of things on there, if someone just looks at it, they may think that something on there, I don't know, like a different meaning compared to what it means to me.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, because it's personal to you.
Right.
That's cool.
Yeah.
How long have we been talking, babe?
30 minutes.
Damn, 30 minutes and 9 seconds. That's
Dang,
fucking
I'm so
good.
Ooh,
Holy shit.
I'm telling you, I'm on point.
Make sure you guys go to oppositesattractpodcast.com. Share it with the people that you know. When you guys go there, you can see how you can support the show. You click on the support the show tab, shop through Amazon. Anything that you buy on through that Amazon link doesn't cost you anything extra, but we get a little kickback whenever you shop through that link, and it helps us out. And we can buy microphones and lights and all this stuff and upgrade a little bit. Mm-hmm. And also, Sonja's doing these gifting sessions.
Yes. Oh, I did a Facebook Live the other day regarding the gifting sessions, and I'm a crybaby. Like I'm very passionate. That's what it is. And when I was doing this live, I was in the zone. Like I was meditating in prayer and praying before, and that's what got
had the music going.
Yep, that's what. Like I felt a calling to do the live. But we're so sometimes critical of ourselves.
Yeah.
Right? When I watched the video again, and the first question I was asking myself is, why would someone hire me? And I'm thinking of all the things that I've grown through and all the things that I know today. And I start to get very emotional and a proud feeling. Yeah. And so I start to tear, but they don't know why I'm tearing, right?
You're just passionate.
I'm just like, because I know that it's a gift, right? And I know that I'm great at this. I know this because everyone that I've done a coaching session with, I can feel it, and I know that they can feel it.
Yeah, and even in the free session, like they got something out of it.
Right. And so in the video when I was watching it, I'm like, they're probably thinking, why would I hire you? You're crying. What's wrong with you?
Yeah.
But I clean it up at the end. But it's just, I'm very passionate about what it is that I do. And anyways, being very critical of that, I ended up getting 3 more gifting sessions from that video.
Awesome.
And I just want to I know one came out of not that video, but of this podcast. So I just want to thank you guys for, trusting me to coach you, those that have reached out. I very much appreciate that. And I'm so excited for you guys because it is a hard step.
It is.
It's a hard step because
you have to be ready.
Yeah.
You have to be ready. You have to be tired of living the way that you're living, of thinking the way that you're thinking, of things holding you back or having to start over again, because there's just something that keeps holding you back.
Yeah.
And a lot of times it has to do with things that we went through as children or other traumas that we've gone through in our life that affect us. And sometimes it's hard. It's kind of like you explained in one of the previous episodes. It's like you've done as much as you could for yourself, but sometimes you need somebody else from the outside to look in and say, "Hey, you might want to look at this."
Right.
And then you're like, "Oh shit, I didn't even know that."
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, because those are things that we have done over and over and over again. It's I have it written. It's like it's a code. Like it's cracking the code of the past, like patterns. In Christianity, they call it generational curses. It's things that have been done over and over again, and you do it not knowing that you learned it from your mom, and your mom learned it from her mom.
Damn, we watch a lot of videos. We were watching something about, was it about dads? It was about dads.
Yes.
It was about how not having a dad affects boys.
Yes.
And it was talking about exactly that. Like when a boy doesn't have a father in their life, how it sends them down this path or whatever. I can't remember exactly, but it was pretty much like it puts them in a position to repeat these generational curses, like you're talking, these patterns.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. That video was a great video.
Yeah.
There's so many lessons within it.
I want to start sharing more of that stuff in the group. And
yes. About the importance of our boys having their fathers in their life. And I feel that it's just as important as well for our daughters, our girls, to have their fathers in their life as well. Because there's such an imbalance when there's not, and there's so much that they go through. And I'm speaking from, experience. My mom and dad separated, after 17 years, and it was a very traumatic divorce that I didn't see my dad. My dad wasn't in my life as much as he could have been because of the hurt that he had with my mom. I mean, there's so much behind it, but I was growing up with abandonment issues and rejection and the insecurity, and that was getting in, and that got in the way of, that post that I just put. I was so scared to love.
Yeah.
I was so scared to love and to trust because of what I went through.
Is it because men leave?
Yeah.
Maybe. Yeah.
And so, and I had no idea that it was coming from that.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So if you guys would like a gifting session, get a hold of us however you can. You guys can find us everywhere at Opposite Pod, or if you search Opposites Attract Podcast, you'll find us on all the social media apps, on Spotify. We post the videos on YouTube and on Facebook, so you guys can watch the podcast on YouTube and Facebook, and then you can listen to it everywhere else. It's on iTunes, Amazon Music, and everything.
Yes.
And if you guys want to send us a message
for a gifting session,
you can do it for a gifting session, or if you want to send us a message and let us know how we're doing. If you guys want to ask us a question, if you guys have a topic that you'd like us to talk about, you guys can call us at. Or another thing that I wanted to mention is that if you guys have made an accomplishment, even if it's something small, but it's big for you.
Yes.
Like, call in and let us know. You can, because we're always like working on stuff. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And it does feel good when you accomplish things in your life.
Yes.
So if you guys would like to call us, you guys can call us at 480-331-9846. And before we move on to anything else, let me see. I have a good friend of mine that is from jiu-jitsu. Our friend Dominic and Yoli.
No.
And I wanted to mention something that they've been working on. It's one of the accomplishments.
Nice.
And Dominic's family is actually one of the first Hispanic families to settle in Arizona.
What?
Yeah, in Tempe. And I don't know if in Arizona, but in Tempe or in like the city. And like he's been working with like the city and like the history of the city, and they got his family put into like the history of the city. Yeah.
What?
Yeah. And
that's
now,
so cool.
like, I think they're working on like naming a street after them, or maybe a park, and then they're also going to try and work on maybe like a facility, like naming a facility after them.
Wow, that's so cool.
Big shout out to Dominic and Yoli.
Yes.
Congratulations, guys. We're super happy for you guys.
And such great supporters.
Yeah.
Such great supporters. When we post or, just anything, they share posts, respond, comment, all that good stuff. So thank you guys for all your support and all that, you do as well.
Yep. And all you other guys, to everybody else that listens to the podcast. And like I said, if you guys have any accomplishments or you guys want to let us know, you guys can send us a message.
Yeah, for sure.
480-331-9846.
There you go. And if you would like to buy us a coffee, or an alcohol beverage, you can go to buymeacoffee.com/oppositepod. You can also help us out on a monthly basis as well.
Yep.
So it will help us get new microphones or new lighting, any of that good stuff, new doors.
Yep.
As you can see, we are both drinking water. So we decided that we were going to go 30 days with no caffeine.
Yep.
Right?
No drinking, no caffeine, no nut.
Yep.
Trying to be clean.
That's right.
Yep.
It's
going good.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
I'm going to start detoxing when you leave.
Are you?
Out of town. Mm-hmm. For the whole week, for all 5 days.
Damn.
I know.
No
I don't
eating?
know how. I don't know. No eating. I don't know how the boxing's going to go.
Ooh, that's going to be tough.
It is going to be tough. Yeah. We'll see.
Maybe.
Yeah.
We'll see. Maybe that's a mental
Yeah, because
thing.
I do pretty good. I do pretty good with fasting, and I feel so like the clarity, just clear, and I love when I meditate and pray while I'm fasting.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's a lot of great benefits to it. If you guys want to look that up. There's this guy that I would constantly listen to, Dave Asprey, and he has a podcast called The Bulletproof. What is it? Bulletproof
Radio?
Yeah, Bulletproof Radio. Absolutely amazing. Great information. He also has a book on Fast This Way, which is really great. Yeah. So if you guys are thinking of it, there's a lot of health benefits to it as well. So you could do it as a spiritual cleanse or as a detox. I do it as both.
Nice. Awesome.
So yeah.
So I think last week we kind of talked about, or we mentioned that we were going to talk about this week was beating our kids. So, because we were having a conversation at one point about like, when did things change? Like, because when the kids were little, we weren't the people that we are today, and I'll say, like, I've spanked the kids before, both of them, but it was never something like out of rage or out of whatever, and it was just, and I've never done it like with a fucking coat hanger or a
it was on their belt
or like a broomstick or some shit. I smack them on the butt a couple times, just like, hey, cut the shit, and just to like snap out of it or whatever.
I would threaten them.
Aside,
I would threaten them.
I'll give you this one. Aside from spanking them, I had this one technique.
Oh.
I don't think I would do it. I don't know if I would do it anymore.
Did it twice.
Maybe I would do it like if we're in public somewhere and I need them to fucking act right.
This is so fun. You would not do that. Maybe to Joey.
Today?
You would not do that to Audrey.
Today?
Yeah.
She's fucking big. It's hard to do. But
choke you
what
out.
I would do is I got a pretty good flick with this middle finger. So sometimes when they start like you guys have seen like those videos of the kids fucking throwing a fit at the grocery store or some shit like that.
Yeah.
Dude, I would fucking blast him in his fucking forehead with my finger. He'd be like, hold up. I'm going to see if I can do it on the microphone so you guys can.
You're going to. Yeah, it's pretty. Anyways.
Here, shut. Like, that's a good fucking thump right in the middle of your forehead.
I remember what.
But I tell you what, they'll fucking snap out of it quick.
I got pissed at you. I don't know. We were having dinner. I don't know what the hell. I don't remember what Joey did. But Joey was a pain in the butt. He's just, that kid, he's a boy. He was, he would test us. Joey, oh my goodness. Since he came out of the wound, right?
Yeah.
Just
did you say the wound?
The
when
womb.
It came out of the womb.
The womb. Always just testing us, right?
Yeah.
And we were at the dinner table and you flicked him and
I flicked the shit out of him.
He wasn't shocked.
He didn't know.
He didn't know what
his eyes were opened up big. He didn't know what.
He was just like shook.
It was like he got tased or some shit.
And then he was like, wah! But I got so pissed at you, but it was funny, but I got pissed at you.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So I used to do that too. But I haven't done any of that in like, I can't even remember. And like, we were like, when, like, first of all, why did we start? And then why did we change? Because we haven't done it in forever. And it hasn't like, and I think we were talking about it too. It's like, if they were to act up, like seriously get out of line, like, cause I don't know if maybe in that moment when we were talking, they were acting a fool and it's like, maybe we should fucking spank them again or something. Right.
I'm like, we turned out okay.
But
I think what it was, I think you and I were talking about us growing up.
Yes.
And you were sharing with me
how were you disciplined
how you
as a
felt.
Kid?
I was spanked.
Yeah?
Yeah. I was spanked.
With objects?
No, with a belt.
Okay.
One time with an object.
Yeah.
Yeah. But with the belt.
Yeah.
And I think you were sharing with me, and we made the decision that we were going to discipline them by making them work out.
Yeah. Well, so yeah, when I was a kid, I would get spanked with a belt. And this whole thing started when we got the kids' report cards. Because I said that when I used to get a report card, like I would get anxiety. Because I've said on here before, like I was a shitty student. I used to fail everything. I always waited till the last minute to turn shit in. So every report card, I was going to get a beating, So,
yeah.
and it was, I would get spanked with a belt, and you were like, well, how did you, like, was it like a bunch of, like, did you get like beat real bad? I'm like, well, I mean, I got spanked with a belt, like, I don't know, 5 to 10 times. I mean, until my dad felt it was sufficient, until I was crying and he thought I got the message or some shit. But once I started getting a little bit older, I didn't give a shit. It was just like, this is a daily routine, You
became numb to it.
Actually, I do remember, because my dad worked nights, and there's got to be trauma from that shit. I mean, getting pulled out of the bed by your hair and spanked has to cause trauma, Mm-hmm. And, when we were talking about it, when the kids were little, like I said, we would spank them. But then at a certain point, like, we start like figuring out that there's other ways that you can discipline them, because it's weird.
You can't tell them not to.
You know what?
This is what happened with me.
Let me share this, because this is what was always hard, is that back then we didn't have the skills. And we did the only thing that we knew how to do.
The way we were raised.
To discipline them the way we were disciplined.
Mm-hmm.
But even when I would do it, like, I know that I'm disciplining them because of something that they did, and I don't want them to do it again. I'm doing it because I want them to be better.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, deep inside, I have a feeling that this is hurting our relationship, or that something isn't right about disciplining them in this way.
That was probably your inner child talking to you.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah.
And that's when we moved on from spankings to making them work out. And, oh man, I gotta find that picture. We need to post that one in the group, because I have a picture of both of the kids, when they acted up one time, and it was in this house. They acted up, and I put them up on the wall doing wall sits, and I'm like, fucking hold it, and they're like, crying and screaming. I was like, I don't give a shit. Hold it. Get your back on that wall, squat down, and just fucking hold it. I was like, next time, I'm not going to be telling you to pick that shit up over and over. And the next time I tell you to do this,
military
or next time,
style.
Yeah. Or holding planks and shit like that. Which I don't know if that's the best way, but I would think that that's probably better than spanking them.
Right.
I don't know. But we have a picture of them two on the wall fucking giving me a death stare. They're like, fuck you.
Well, the reason why we decided to have this conversation was because Audrey came home from school, excited, happy-go-lucky, and she said, guess what? She's like, we were in PE, and I was the only one that could do pull-ups.
Oh, yeah.
Even her boys, right, that are friends, could not do a pull-up. And here Audrey is, she did 3.
Nice.
And I said, I think you should probably go thank your dad for that.
That's awesome.
And she's like, oh, because she got it automatically, because Miguel would have the kids doing push-ups.
Yep.
So their upper body strength, Joey does.
I mean, they're not
pull-ups,
jacked, but
no, but
they'll do,
you know. And then I started asking them
Joey
about
doesn't do
that.
Pull-ups. We don't have a 10-year-old that does pull-ups. Like, he might do one.
Yeah,
but
I can't do one. We have a 10-year-old that can do a pull-up.
But okay, Joey can do pull-up.
I can do a pull-up.
I'll agree with that.
But I asked them about that, and and how they felt, because I wanted to see, is there trauma from that?
Yeah.
And there's no trauma. It's just, yeah.
But I also think that the difference is our parenting. like the conversations, the involvement that we've had with our kids over the years. Like, yeah, we fucked up in the past by spanking them. I shouldn't have spanked them. I should have done what I would do today, is look shit up and figure out a better way to do things. You know, I was watching a parenting video today and I'm like, dude, I'm almost fucking 40. My kids are like 10, 11, 13, and about to be 17.
Right.
And I'm still watching fucking parenting videos.
Always. Forever.
You know?
Forever.
And it wasn't like that for me growing up.
No.
You know, so that's why things are different.
Right. Yeah. And that's just continual, you know, us focusing on growth.
Yeah.
Right? Because even with our relationship.
Yeah. Same thing.
You got to continue to grow. You grow together or you grow apart. Right? Yep. You know, and you and I, when we watch a video and we share it with each other, if you're not with me and you're watching a video, you send it to me and vice versa. Yeah. You know, it's like we are on this journey together and we made a decision to be on this journey together.
Yeah.
You know, and in relationships, there's a lot of challenges that come into the relationship because there are no common goals, right? Like we have our individual goals.
Right.
I go to boxing. I was going to jiu-jitsu with you, right? But then, and it wasn't my thing. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the women. I enjoyed the people, right? The love, the support, the community. And I'll go on Saturdays with him and watch him while I'm working out because they have, weights and stuff. So I'll be working out there, doing my jump squats and everything else.
While we're beating each other up.
Yeah, and I'm singing and doing my thing.
Yep.
But I love to box. I enjoy that. You know, so we have our individual goals as well, but we also have our common goals that we have together. Yeah, and I think it's so important, to do that. And there's sometimes it's like, okay, well, the only goals they have are the goals they have together.
And the good thing is that we support each other in our goals.
Right.
Because even though my goals are my individual goals, I can't get my individual goals done without you because we have a family.
Right.
And you can't get your goals done without me either. Even though they're personal and individual to you, the coaching business, like there's going to be things that I have to do to help you. Even like if it's not setting up the website or whatever, maybe it's just taking the kids somewhere so that you can meet with somebody. And same thing for you. Like maybe it's you watching the kids so that I can go train.
Right.
Stuff like that.
Right. It's a team effort. And with the kids, I feel that this is something maybe we should have done a long time ago.
And I want to share, because this is something that we've just kind of done. Like it's just a fucking thing between me and you, where when one of us has to get something done, we both kind of like, all right, how can we get this done? I'll do this, you go do that. You know what I mean?
I'm glad you're talking about that because
it's not even that you have to bring it up.
Right.
It's automatic.
It's having consideration for the other person. It's love. It's love. That's what it is. It's love. I want you. We make the sacrifices for each other, right? Yeah. Like if I have to go to the gym and we have one vehicle, but there's something that you need to do.
Yeah.
Then I gotta put my gym aside. I can go tomorrow so that you can do the thing that you have to do.
Yeah.
It's like you figure out, okay, well, what's our priority? What really needs to get done?
Right.
Are we going to eat today? Then I need to go to the grocery store, and you're just going to have to sit tight. Yeah. Let's go together. Let's make it make it a date. Yeah. But it's all about give and take, and sacrificing for the better good.
No.
But getting the kids involved is so important. And that's why I want to do the family dream board, for all of us to come together and do that and talk about our goals. Just like we were having dinner yesterday and I was talking about, hey kids, I was thinking of a goal for the family. I'm all throwing this on them. And I'm like, what if we all just read 10 pages of a book?
Yeah.
a day, like a good book. And Audrey's like, oh, that's a good idea. So last night, Miguel and I, we're getting so
Old.
wise. No. Wise.
Yeah, that's better.
But we are. Look
Yeah.
at what we're reading. You know, we decide that, okay, well, we're going to read before we go to bed. So I have my book and he has his book and we're over here reading on the bed together. And then Adriana comes in to give us a kiss because she's going to bed.
Yeah.
Do you know how good that is for her to see us laying in bed, reading a book? And then not only that, when I started reading something good, I shared it with you.
Yeah.
And then what I was reading was very similar to what you just wanted to read to me. Isn't that funny?
It was crazy because you're reading like a philosophical book and I'm reading a jiu-jitsu book.
Right. But in
But
jiu-jitsu,
the message,
yes, is the same.
yeah.
Yeah. And it's like, oh, I want to read this to you.
That's
And you,
cool.
when I started reading to you, you wanted to read to me.
Yeah.
And it was basically
cool.
the same message. So
Yeah.
that message we were supposed, and it was a good message.
Yeah.
It was about, do you remember
I
what
can't
it was
remember
about?
what I was-
Holy smokes.
I gotta go.
It was about being, but in your book, it didn't talk about like just being. It's giving yourself that quiet time. I got it. It's giving yourself space to be present. How to be present. To pay attention to, when things get, I don't know if they were talking about like stressful situations or when
Survival.
a challenge is coming your way, that you just breathe, right? Like you just breathe and listen to the silence and pay attention to your surroundings.
Yeah. And the paragraph that I was reading was about survival in jiu-jitsu.
Mm-hmm.
And it was about breathing
Yes.
and keeping yourself safe to the point where your mind can calm down.
Yes. Yes.
So that you can start reacting or just to survive and keep yourself safe so that you're not in danger.
Right.
And then you can start working on changing some things.
Right.
But yeah, it's pretty cool.
That was cool, right?
Yeah. And one thing that just kind of popped into my head, because something that we always talk about that makes a huge difference in our family is eating together.
Yes.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And something else that we do that we haven't really talked about or haven't ever talked about that we do more often than not is we still put the kids to bed.
Oh, yes.
More often than not. And it's not put the kids to, it's not just like say goodnight, because a lot of times the kids will there's few times where they'll come to us and give us a kiss and then they just go to bed.
Right.
Most of the time it's like they're in their rooms getting ready to go to sleep and we go to their room.
Right.
And give them a kiss on the head and tuck them in like good night.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
that's it. It's small, but the bond, like you feel it. You feel it when just that little hug and the kiss right before they go to bed.
There will be nights where we're exhausted. We're stressed, right? Like we've had an exhausting day, very busy. And we'll be doing something and Joey goes to bed and he's like, are you guys going to come give me a kiss goodnight?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Because that's what they're used to. That's what we've built. Like that's, I never even really thought about that.
I wonder,
and the
I wonder
importance.
how,
I wonder what the importance, what
that does.
Right. Yeah. It's interesting.
I'd like to figure that out.
Yeah.
And another thing that I've talked about recently is, or not talked about, but I've talked to you about it, was this just popped into my head, but I've been wanting to talk to somebody about some situations in my life, like a therapist, just to have a conversation. Because kind of like the traumatic things that I've lived through, like you figure a way to, like I said, humans make sense of things. And sometimes you wonder, is like, am I seeing things? Am I reacting the way I'm supposed to? Is this, Am I feeling the way I'm supposed to feel, or I don't know. But it's just and the stigma of talking to somebody. You know what I mean? Is there for a lot of people.
Yeah.
Damn it. That kind of leads into the other fucking thing that we're going to talk about.
Hold on. So when you said that, I'm so glad and I'm so happy.
I've thought about it like almost every day, like
really?
this week. Yeah.
Oh,
I'm like, I need to,
you have
because
a pulling.
well,
okay.
the other thing is that I got this thing in the mail where it's convenient. Like I don't have to go anywhere. I could just fucking FaceTime them or whatever, you know?
Yeah.
So I'm like, I might as well.
And I've known for quite some time, and I've known within that I can't do it. You know what I'm saying? That I am too close. We are too close.
It's a conflict of interest.
But I can tell you that when it comes to rejection, that's something that you've had a challenge with. And rejection comes from abandonment. Yeah. Even though you may not feel like you've been abandoned, your situation that happened when you were a baby with your mom and your dad,
yeah,
there is that form that creates that, you know, the issue of the rejection, the challenge of rejection.
Yeah. Yep.
You know?
So, you know, and it's something that I'm looking forward to, just talking to somebody and getting their thoughts. And like, I don't see it as like somebody's going to try to fucking figure me out. I just want to, like I told you, I think when I was talking to you about it, I was telling you, like, I wish there could be somebody that you could just talk to, doesn't know your name, doesn't know shit about you. Like, you could just, so that you know that they're just going to give you their unbiased opinion about, you know, your life or your thoughts, you know? So, but yeah, I'm looking forward to that. And we were talking about like the emotions, like opening up, which is something that for men is hard to do, you know, a lot of times.
Right.
And I don't think that's all bad. I don't think it's all bad, because I think a lot of times people feel like, well, men are so this and that because they don't let go of their emotions. And like I told you, I think there's reasons why sometimes. Maybe it's conflict. Maybe it's war. Maybe it's battle. Maybe it's defending your family. Because when you think about it as cave people, like it's weird, because fighting and the defense of your family is like one of the most primal things. You know, you have a caveman in a cave with his family. Who's going to defend the cave? The caveman. And having that responsibility will change. I think that'll change you over time. Over thousands of years, tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of years. I don't know how long, you know?
Right.
That eventually ends up becoming deeply ingrained and embedded in us. So there's reasons for it, but as times change, I think maybe in the past we kind of went too hard in that direction. But I don't think that there isn't a place for that.
Yeah. That happens often, even with parenting. If you were parented a certain way and you disagreed with it, say you grew up with strict parents, very strict parents.
Exactly. And then it's a fucking free for
all. Total opposite.
You want to be best friends with your parents. You want to be best friends.
Yes.
And then that's a fucking disaster.
Right. So there's a balance. There's a healthy balance that's needed. And I think that's with everything in life. That's from eating healthy to working out, you know, to sex. There's just a healthy balance. You know, it's like if you want that ice cream, have the ice cream.
Yeah.
Have 2 scoops, not the entire gallon. If you want some chips, get a Ziploc bag. Throw some chips in the Ziploc bag. Don't take the entire bag.
Yeah. It's good.
You know?
Yep. So before we started the podcast, we were watching this video about masculinity. And like, what does that mean today? because so many things are changing when it comes to masculinity and men and women and all that stuff, that we kind of wanted to talk about like what it means to be a man today and what it's like raising a boy in today's times where things have changed so much and things continue to change, you know, because masculinity is like even harder to find. So make sure you guys come back next week so you guys can hear what we have to say about that. And thank you guys for listening. Make sure you guys go to our website, oppositesattractpodcast.com.
Thank you guys for your love. Thank you for your support. And thank you for watching Opposites Attract Podcast.
Where we get better
together. Bye.